Hello students, in this video we will start with Abel's theorem, and after that we will see application of Abel's theorem and also double sequence theorem. So Abel's theorem states that suppose that summation an, the series converges and f of x equals to summation n from 0 to infinity an x to the power n for minus 1 less than x less than 1, then we have to prove that limit x tends to 1 minus f of x is equals to summation n from 0 to infinity an. So here we will start with proof. First, let Sn be equals to a0 plus a1 up to an, and also s minus 1 equals to 0. Also let summation n from 0 to infinity an equals to s. Then this implies that limit n tends to infinity Sn is equals to s. Since this is summation n from 0 to infinity an. Now let summation n from 0 to m an x to the power n equals to summation n from 0 to m. Here for an can be written as Sn minus 1 and x to the power n. Since Sn equals to a0 plus a1 up to an, then Sn minus 1 will be equals to a0 plus a1 up to so on an minus 1. So Sn equals to Sn minus 1. Here the term before an will be an minus 1. So this a0 plus a1 up to an minus 1 can be written as Sn minus 1 and this an as it is. So from this we can say that an is equals to Sn minus 1. So using this, in this term, further we get summation n from 0 to infinity, we will distribute it. So this becomes Sn x to the power n minus summation n from 0 to m Sn minus 1 x to the power n. Now this is n. Okay. So now we will put here n equals to m. Then this summation will range from n equals to 0 to m minus 1 Sn x to the power n plus Sm x to the power m, and this term will be as it is, that is summation n from 0 to m Sn minus 1 x to the power n. Now this summation n from 0 to m minus 1 Sn x to the power n plus Sm x to the power n. Now we know that s minus 1 is equals to 0. So if we put n equals to 0 here, this become s minus 1, and that for n equals to 0 this term is become 0. So we write here summation n from 1 to m Sn minus 1 x to the power n. Now again summation n equals to 0 to m minus 1 Sn x to the power n plus Sm x to the power m. Now taking 1 x outside, so we get n from 1 to m Sn minus 1 x to the power n minus 1. Now this becomes, now since this summation n from 0 to m minus 1 Sn x to the power n is equals to summation n from 1 to m Sn minus 1 x to the power n minus 1, that is this two terms are equal. So we will write here summation n from 0 to m minus 1 Sn x to the power n minus this term x summation n from 0 to m minus 1 Sn xn plus Sm x to the power n. So now taking this summation Sn x to the power n common, we get 1 minus x summation n from 0 to m minus 1 Sn x to the power n plus Sm x to the power n. We'll give it number 1. Now for mod x less than 1, this Sm tends to s and x to the power m tends to 0 as m tends to infinity. So taking limit m tends to infinity to 1, we get f of x equals to, we know this term is equals to f of x. So f of x equals to summation n from 0 to infinity. For since m tends, we have taken m tends to infinity. So an x to the power n equals to 1 minus x summation n from 0 to infinity Sn x to the power n for mod x less than 1. We'll give it number 2nd. Now since limit n tends to infinity Sn equals to s, so for epsilon greater than 0 there exists n0 belongs to the set of natural number such that n greater than n0 implies Sn minus s less than epsilon by 2. Set number 3. Also this term 1 minus x summation n from 0 to infinity x to the power n is equals to 1 for mod x less than 1. Number 4. Hence for n greater than n0 and 0 less than x less than 1, here we have mod of f of x minus s equals to, now we know that this f of x is equals to 1 minus x summation n from 0 to infinity Sn x to the power n. So from 2 f of x is equals to 1 minus x summation n from 0 to infinity Sn x to the power n minus s. Here s s can be written as s multiplied by 1 minus x summation n from 0 to infinity x to the power n, since the value of this term is equals to 1 from 4. We have written this from 2 and 4. Now next taking 1 minus x summation n from 0 to infinity x to the power n common, so we get 1 minus x summation n from 0 to infinity Sn minus s x to the power n. Now this is less than 1 minus x summation n from 0 to infinity mod of Sn minus x and x to the power n. This is, now we will break this summation, that is from n equals to 0 to n0 and next from n equals to n0 plus 1 to infinity. So we get 1 minus x, the first will be n from 0 to n0 mod of Sn minus s x to the power n plus next will be 1 minus x, then here we have taken till n0, this we will start from n equals to n0 plus 1 to infinity mod of Sn minus s x to the power n. Now since mod of Sn minus s is less than epsilon by 2 for n greater than n0. Here this n is greater than n0 as it starts from n0 plus 1. So here this mod of Sn minus s will be less than epsilon by 2. So we get 1 minus x summation n from 0 to n0 mod of Sn minus s x to the power n plus epsilon by 2. This Sn minus s is less than epsilon by 2 and this 1 minus x summation n from n0 plus 1 to infinity x to the power n remain as it is. Now this we have taken from 3. So by 3. Now since by 4 we know that 1 minus x summation n from 0 to infinity x to the power n is equals to 1. This implies that 1 minus x summation n from n0 plus 1 to infinity x to the power n will be less than or equals to 1. So using this, in this term we get mod of f of x minus s less than 1 minus x summation n from 0 to n0 mod of Sn minus s x to the power n plus epsilon by 2, since this whole term is less than 1. So let it be number 5. Now for fixed number n0, this 1 minus x summation n from 0 to n0 Sn minus s x to the power n is positive continuous function of x. And since it is polynomial of degree less than or equals to n0 plus 1, and this polynomial having 0 or we can say root at x equals to 1, then for this there exists delta greater than 0 such that 1 minus delta less than x less than 1 implies that 1 minus x summation n from 0 to n0 mod of Sn minus s x to the power n is less than epsilon by 2. We give it number 6. Now using this 6 in 5 we get, using 6 in 5 implies that mod of f of x minus s is less than, this term is less than epsilon by 2 from 6 and this plus epsilon by 2 which is less than epsilon. This implies that limit x tends to 1 minus f of x is equals to s, that is, and we know that s is equals to summation n from 0 to infinity an. So here we get the final result and hence here the Abel's theorem is proved. Next is application of Abel's theorem. This states that if summation an, summation bn and summation cn, these three converges to the sum abc respectively, and if cn is equals to a0 pn plus a1 bn minus 1 plus up to so on an b0 where n is equals to 1 to up to so on, then summation an summation bn is equals to summation cn, that is a b equals to c. So here let f of x equals to summation n from 0 to infinity an x to the power n, g of x equals to summation n from 0 to infinity bn x to the power n, and h of x equals to summation n from 0 to infinity cn x to the power n. for 0 less than x less than 1, and this let be number 1. So for 0 less than x less than 1, above 3 series converge absolutely. And also we have Cn equals to a0 bn plus a1 bn minus 1 plus up to so on an b0. Therefore the summation Cn x to the power n is the Cauchy product of two series, that is summation an x to the power n and summation bn x to the power n. Therefore f of x g of x is equals to h of x for 0 less than x less than 1. Let it be number 2. Now by Abel's theorem, this limit x to the x tends to 1 minus f of x is equals to a, limit x tends to 1 minus g of x equals to b, and limit x tends to 1 minus h of x is equals to c. Let it be number 3. So now taking limit x tends to 1 minus on both sides of second equation. So then we get limit x tends to 1 minus f of x g of x equals to limit x tends to 1 h of x. This implies we will separate this limit with this 2. So limit x tends to minus f of x limit x tends to 1 minus g of x equals to limit x tends to 1 h of x. Now by 3 we know that this is a, this term is b, and this term is c. That is summation an summation bn is equals to summation cn. Since a is the sum of this series, b is the sum of series summation bn, and c is the sum of this series, and hence here the theorem is proved. So the next theorem is of a double sequence. Here given a double sequence aij where both I and j ranges from 1 to 3 up to so on. Suppose that summation j from 1 to infinity mod of aij equals to bi, where I ranges from 1 to 3 up to so on, and also given that summation bi converges. Then we have to prove that summation I from 1 to infinity summation j from 1 to infinity aij is equals to summation j from 1 to infinity summation I from 1 to infinity aij. So we will start with proof. Here we consider a countable set E with points x0, x1, x2 up to so on. So let E be a countable set consisting of points x0, x1, x2 up to so on. And suppose that this xn tends to x0 as n tends to infinity. Next we define fi of x0 equals to summation j from 1 to infinity aij I from 1 to 3 up to so on. Let it be number first. Next fi of xn equals to summation j from 1 to n aij. Here I and n both range from 1, 2, 3 up to so on. Let it be number second. Next, g of x equals to summation I from 1 to infinity fi of x. X belongs to the set E. Let this be number 3. Now, since we have supposed that this xn tends to x0 as n tends to infinity, so as this n tends to infinity and this limit n tends to infinity fi of xn will be equals to limit n tends to infinity fi of xn. From 3 we have summation j from 1 to n aij. So here n tends to infinity, we rewrite it as summation j from 1 to infinity aij, and we give it number 4, and this converges to bi. This converges to bi where I is equals to 1, 2, 3 up to so on. This is by given. Now next, from 1 and 4 implies that limit n tends to infinity fi of xn is equals to fi of x0. This implies that fi is continuous at x0, and also by given we have that summation bi converges, and also that mod of fi of x is less than or equals to bi for x belongs to E, for all I belongs to the set of natural. So here by m test this series summation fi of x will be uniformly convergent. So the by m test implies that g of x equals to summation I from 1 to infinity fi of x converges uniformly. We have defined g of x equals to summation I from 1 to infinity fi of x in equation 3. So this converges by m test, converges uniformly on set E. So this implies that g is continuous, since this g of x equals to summation I from 1 to infinity fi of x, and we know that this fi is continuous at x0. Therefore g is continuous on set E, and in particular that on the set E this g is continuous particularly at x0 which belongs to the set E, that is limit g of xn, limit n tends to infinity, is equals to g of x0. So here by 1 we have summation j from 1 to infinity aij is equals to fi of x0. So summation, we will take I from 1 to infinity summation j from 1 to infinity aij is equals to summation I from 1 to infinity fi of x0. Here we have taken summation I from 1 to infinity on both sides. We know this summation I from 1 to infinity fi of x0 is g of x0. This is by 3, and this g of x0 is equals to limit n tends to infinity g of xn. We will number it as 5. So this is by 5. Now g of xn will be summation I from 1 to infinity fi of xn. So we have limit n tends to infinity g of xn can be written as summation I from 1 to infinity fi of xn. This is by 3. So limit n tends to infinity in bracket summation I from 1 to infinity ai1 plus summation I from 1 to infinity ai2 plus up to so on summation I from 1 to infinity aim. So this implies that limit n tends to infinity summation j from 1 to n summation I from 1 to infinity aij. So here limit n tends to infinity, so we put here n equals to infinity. So summation j from 1 to infinity summation I from 1 to infinity is aij, which is here equals to summation I from 1 to infinity summation j from 1 to infinity aij. So this is the required result and hence the theorem is proved. So only the last article of this unit is remaining, which is Tauber's theorem, also known as the converse of Abel's theorem, which we will see in next lecture. So thank you.